GCSE Poetry, Love and Relationships, Winter Swans by Owen Sheers, and poems to compare it to. Here is the annotated poem. It lasts 3 slides, and I just want to say thank you to the physics and math tutor for allowing me to use their resource in my video. For access to all of their poems from Love and Relationships and the Conflicts cluster, the link is in the description to their website. The clouds had given their all. 2 days of rain and then a break, in which we walked, the waterlogged earth gulping for breath at our feet, as we skirted the lane, silent and apart, until the swans came and stopped us, with a show of tipping in unison, as if rolling weights down their bodies to their heads. They halved themselves in the dark water, icebergs of white feather, paused before returning again, like boats writing in rough weather. They mate for life, you said. Porcelain over the stilling water. I didn't reply. But as we moved on through the afternoon light, slow stepping in the lake's shingle and sand, I noticed our hands that had somehow swum the distance between us, and folded one over the other, like a pair of wings. A broader idea of what the poem is about. It's about a relationship that was fractured in the beginning, so it came into the poem fractured and has come out with a slight resolution. They use swan imagery and natural imagery to display how having a fracture and break in the relationship is natural in itself. And also through the use of swan imagery, it's highlighted how it's a poem about a relationship, as there are 2 swans. Given their all, waterlogged earth and stopped all suggests breakage in the relationship and sort of misunderstanding from both of them. It symbolises how they're having issues in communication, how they're having things that are negatively affecting their relationship. Gulping for breath suggests that could be the state of the actual relationship they had. They needed a break, and they needed to sort of look from another person's perspective. Make sure you make note of this slide. They halved themselves in the dark water. So halved continues with the idea of couples and pairings. On a figurative level, it could imply that the swans appear as a unit, but are separate and become single entities again. And the suggestion that they mate for life is actually a true fact, and it provides a sense that they should do that too. And a little bit of irony, as they just had gone through a break in their relationship, and they talk about mating for lifetime. When they say shingle and sand, it could depict the rocky start to their relationship, or alternatively how they have to put in a lot of effort to resolve the situation. And the final 2 lines, the final couplet, talk about how their hands fold over each other and like a pair of wings settling after a flight. Now, the good thing is couplets symbolise love, so there is resolution here, and there is resolution in the figurative meaning of this. However, it doesn't rhyme, and normally rhyme suggests that, along with the couplets, pure love, so they could suggest slight tension. Let's quickly look at the poet context. So the poet's name is Owen Sheers. He wrote Winter Swans in early 2000s. We don't exactly know because he published it in a collection called Skirrid Hill in 2005. And they had a lot of poems in them. He's a poet, author, playwright and TV presenter, and his work tends to focus on identity and relationship. Here are some really helpful structure and form essay points. Number 1, inconsistent form, no rhyme scheme or consistent syllable line count. This depicts the unpredictable and messy nature of relationships as a whole, as well as the state that this relationship is in the beginning. However, this soon changes because towards the end you get a couplet and it seems like the structure is started to form and there is improvement in the relationship. The 4 sentences are stretched over 20 lines, which suggests the theme of symmetry and pairings. Enjambment is continually used, and it reflects the fluidity of the conversation and makes the pace feel more natural. Sheers' use of a final couplet doesn't rhyme, which, as we said, suggests that there's still tension in the relationship. And Sheers' use of caesura, which is punctuation within a line or at the end of a line, and it reflects the break in the relationship, unnatural forced pauses in the pace, which mirrors the sort of struggles that the relationship and the couples are having. Alternatively, it could be seen as a contemplation stage, so it's all up to interpretation. Make sure you make note of these. Now looking at some language essay points, first of all the semantic field of pairings, which represent the couple's intimacy and desire to be together, and also compared to swans, which are noted to mate for life. They're said to only take 2 days and halved and pair of wings. Also compared to the swans, which are noted to mate for life, they seem more to allude to the theme of 2 swans and coupling. Moving on to the swan symbolism, which is symbolic of enduring timeless love. The white colour is a symbol of light and purity, and in alchemy, which is sort of mythology, swans symbolise melding of the opposites, which links to the melding of opposite partners. Now, natural imagery is also used, and the use of pathetic fallacy in "the clouds had given their all" suggests how the relationship and the conflicts they have are all natural and, like nature, are vital for organisms to continue. Since weather is temporary, however, the pathetic fallacy highlights how the conflict, like the weather, is only temporary and will blow over eventually. Here are 2 poems to compare it to: Letters from Yorkshire and When We Two Parted. So the similarities between Winter Swans and Letters from Yorkshire is that they both explore the effects of disruption and separation in a relationship. And natural imagery is used in both of them to create a vivid setting. However, the differences in Letters from Yorkshire, the characters are physically separated, whereas Winter Swans, they are emotionally detached. And in Letters from Yorkshire, they deal with familial relationships, whereas Winter Swans concerns with a romantic / sexual relationship. Also, in Letters from Yorkshire, there doesn't seem to be a resolution, just a continuation of how they're living, whereas Winter Swans, there's a slight resolution in the end. Now, comparing Winter Swans to When We Two Parted in similarities, they both explore the differences in the difficulties encountered within a relationship, and they attribute some of the difficulties due to lack of communication. However, in When We Two Parted, the couple is already separated and do not reunite, whereas in Winter Swans, it's a bit more positive, and the couple is already separated but begins to reunite. Now, both poems have stanzas at set length, but When We Two Parted is significantly longer, which seems like it's more of a rant, whereas Winter Swans is more of a event which will change. It's not gonna be forever, just how the weather is.